morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you are brand new here, welcome. I'm Bonnie, Old Soul Mermaid. Today I thought I would just hop on and film a short little video of what I've been up to. Just a short little crafting video, some things I've made and what I'm sewing today. So with that, I'm going to get my projects out and I'm going to show you. So if you've been watching my more current videos, you will see that I have put in and integrated some newer spread cloths that I put on my table. And actually I film right here on my sewing table because this area has the best light in my house. So I film all my YouTube videos, my deck unboxings right here, and I'll put a spread cloth and just kind of make it look pretty. And because usually I shoot in daylight when the light's the best, and it happens to be in my sewing room, so this is where it's done. But if you've seen some of my more current videos, you would have noticed that I've integrated some newer spread cloths, and when I sew them, I like to do them double-sided, because then you get two for the price of one, basically. So this is a cute Simplicity pattern fabric. It's vintage Simplicity patterns. You can buy at the big box store Joann's here in the States. But I love this fabric because see all these little ladies here? They were on the cover of old vintage Simplicity patterns back in the day, depending. This looks like a 60s dress. So does this one. This one up here is definitely 1950s, whereas this would be more 40s. This would be more 40s. Again, here we've got the 60s. I'm gonna move this one up here. I love this one. This little lady here with her trousers and her top. This is definitely Rosie the Riveter, like 1940s. So it's really, really cute. And I don't know if you can see, but superimposed, printed on the fabric are the pattern pieces, and it's just super cute. And you've got the pattern numbers, the original pattern number. And Simplicity, usually they do, they have a line where you can still get, they still have these vintage patterns that you can get today. They're just in new packaging. So I did this one, and then on the back I put this nice turquoise blue, and then I made another one with this beautiful butterfly fabric, and then on the back I found this fun crystal ball fabric. So, just so you can change it up a little bit. And then I've got this groovy, kind of tie-dyed pink and cream. And then I wanted one with a neutral color so everything can go on it. Don't want the decks and the cloth clashing too much. So these were done, and one thing I want to learn how to do, I have this fancy schmancy sewing machine, but normally I sew clothes, so I've got like, I don't know, 200 stitches and decorative stitches on my machine, but I don't use very many of them because mostly I sew clothes, and you don't need fancy decorative stitches. But if you're doing something like this, a decorative stitch would be fun, and I haven't learned how to use it on my machine. If you can see here, I'm going to bring this up. I did try to fancy it up with a turquoise zigzag stitch, but also decorative stitches take up a lot of thread, so I'm kind of chintzy that way. All right, so I'm going to move these off to the side and show you the other thing I've been making. I am in the midst of making some tarot bags. So these are going to be the same, just because I'm trying to use up scrap fabric. So this is a great scrap busting activity. And then I have this one too. They all have the same. This is going to be the lining, and this is going to be the outer fabric. So I've just sewed it together. I'm pulling it out. And I need to sew around the top of these. Now this is the inner fabric, this is going to be the lining. The outer fabric is going to be that cute simplicity girl fabric. That's going to be the outside of these two bags. So I'm in the process, and I'll have to you know, measure, and then we're going to do the channels for adding in the drawstrings. But this little fabric right here, my daughter was visiting a couple of years ago, and she's found, I was in the fabric store, and she found this fabric, and she goes, "Can you make me something out of this?" And I said, "Yeah, what do you want?" And she goes, "Make me that wrap skirt that you have that I like." So I made her a wrap skirt out of this out of this fabric. So yeah, I'm using up all the scraps. So I may consider giving one of these away. Maybe the next time I do a deck giveaway, I'll include a bag. Maybe I'll do giveaways with bags and maybe a spread cloth for you. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. You know, they're not fancy like Moonlit Fae, but because I use scraps, but they'll be well made, and I think they're cute, and they're free. I wouldn't charge anything for them, so how can you beat free? So this is the video on YouTube that I've been using to make these bags. It's by a channel, Whitney Sews, and it's very straightforward. I'll just play a little bit of it. Oh, where is it? There we go. Did I hit it?
Reach in through the opening in the lining and turn everything out to the right side. Make sure the seam allowances are turned in toward the inside and sew a line of stitching to close up the opening. Push the lining down into the bag and smooth out the top edge as much as possible. Give it a press with the iron so it looks extra nice. Then sew a top stitch around the upper edge.
So as you can see, that's where I am with most of these bags. I still have to sew the top around the other two, but it's a real easy video. It's only like 6 minutes long, and if you can sew a little bit, sew a straight line, you can do this, and it's a great scrap busting project. And we're gonna move over here. Yeah, we are in my sewing room here. And we're gonna go over to my cabinet, and in here we have a mixture of sewing supplies and some mixed media supplies. So excuse me, you can see up there I've got some paints and some alcohol inks and brushes for mixed media, but over here I've got some ribbon that I'll use for the this package I haven't even opened from Joann's, for, you know, the tarot bags. So yeah, I'll have to pick and choose and see if I have anything that matches. If it doesn't match perfectly, it doesn't matter. And sometimes I like it kind of being mismatchy, you know, kind of not matching, but it goes anyway. So yeah, that's what I've got in my little cupboard here. There's some bias binding for clothing projects. Mostly I sew clothes, and maybe I will put in some pictures in future videos of some clothes that I've sewn. So over here you can see the window. This is why I have good light in this room. This is the view outside the front of my house. It's kind of a great day here in Texas. But this is my machine. This is Elsie. It's my Juki DX7. and I'll show you all these stitches. I upgraded this machine. I had a more simple Janome entry-level machine that my husband got me when I decided I wanted to learn to sew. But I did make myself a pair of jeans, and I had a lot of trouble with it because it couldn't handle the thick denim fabric. So, and also when you're sewing a button placket, when you have layers of fabric and interfacing in, that machine was very temperamental. So I had been into my sewing journey a couple of years, and my husband said, okay, you can upgrade. This is something you're going to keep with. So you can see all the decorative stitches here. Really, what I need are just a few. For sewing clothes, you just need a zigzag stitch for sewing knits and a straight stitch. Basically, and of course your buttonholes. But see all these decorative stitches that I could use for around, you know, the border to kind of frame my spread cloth. I haven't learned how to use it, and part of it is because it uses a lot of thread, and I don't want to go through my thread. Now see, if I were selling these, you know, cloths and tarot bags, I would use it, but since it's only for my own use, I don't want to go through a ton of thread because, you know, sewing supplies get expensive. So that's my lovely digital machine with the sewing table, and this is my Janome serger. So, you know, if you're sewing knits, this is a great thing to have, or to finish your edges so fabric doesn't fray. So this is you can do you know, overlocking on a sewing machine, but I think it's way faster and way easier on a serger. Here I have some other fabrics that I've been contemplating making some cloths and some tarot bags. These two are quilting cottons. This is kind of a canvasy linen blend fabric that I got really cheap years ago at the beginning of my sewing journey. And there was a chain here, Hancock Fabrics, that was going out of business. So I didn't know anything about fabric. I wouldn't really sew clothes with these, you know, clothes I'd like to wear. But these fabrics, I've pulled them out of my storage, and they're great for crafting. I don't quilt. I've never made a quilt. At this point, I'm not really interested, but as far as making bags and spread cloths and things like that, that's what I'm interested in, and these would be perfect. I have some examples of some bags that I have made. We have, let me see if I can get this, shows up better, this cute kitty fabric, and inside is the cat tarot. Surprise, surprise. And on the inside I did this purple lining, and I have a spread cloth made out of this pinky purple lavendery fabric. But I think these turned out okay. Again, I say I'm no moonlit fae, but I think it turned out pretty well, wouldn't you say? It suits my purposes. It's well made. It's going to hold up in the wash, and it's going to protect my decks. And here is another sample. Fun fabric. And then this is housing my Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. And I went something totally, you know, not matchy-matchy, but I think it looks really cute. This kind of a celery green with the polka dots on the inside. Don't you think that's fun? I think it's fun. And then I just got this kind of neutral cording for it to go in. So that's one. And then this one is cool. This is actual tarot fabric. I think you've seen, I did make a small spread cloth with this. I think I'm going to make a bigger one. But yeah, this is from Joann's too in the States, the big box store. I don't know if they still have it. But I keep my Seasons of the Witch in here. Got the gray ribbon, and then I made myself, this is a linen, kind of a mauve linen, and I actually made myself a dress out of this, a summer dress. So scraps, yeah. I like to use my scraps, and this is just a perfect project for it. All right, let's move that off to the side. You've seen my spread cloth out of this fabric. Now this was one of my very first tries at making a tarot bag, and it is not lined. And I keep my efflorescent tarot in here because the box is kind of floppy. So I want to keep it intact, but it is not lined, but it's well made. Keeps everything together. I like how this polka dot fabric was in my other, it's in the lining of this deck. So using every little bit is a good thing. Yeah, this was my very first try. I made this bag and this bag at the same time, and this is not lined as well. Very first try, I made the drawstrings, which takes up most of the time, and that's why I chose to buy ready-made ribbon. It makes it go faster, but I kind of like the homemade look here. So when I want to take a little bit more time, I will go back to this. But I house my Anna Kay, my indie Anna Kay tarot in the bag. And you'll notice I made a spread cloth. You've seen both of these in videos before. These are double-sided. Yeah, the spread cloth, one side is this and the other side is that. And so I have two, just for a little bit of variety, visual variety for when I film my videos. So that's what I've been up to, what I'm doing today. Probably tomorrow, I don't know when I'll finish. I sew in short spurts, and now that I decided to shoot this video, it's cutting into my sewing time. Let me know what you think. Would you like a free bag and maybe a free cloth in a giveaway in the future? And let me know if you do some sewing, if you make some tarot bags for yourself. My goal is, I did find a pattern somewhere, and now I can't find where I put it, but it's more of like what Moonlit Faye does with the envelope and the snap kind of closure. And I did find in one of my sewing magazines that I had a pattern for that, and now I can't find it. So that's, another goal of mine, to do one of those type of tarot bags. But for now, I'm doing this, and it seems to be working out okay. My goal is to get practically all my tarot decks into some sort of bag. Yeah, that's the goal. I don't know if I'll accomplish it, but we're gonna try. So let me know what you think. Do you sew your own tarot bags? Which of these fabrics is your favorite? Leave a comment in the description box below. And as always, thank you so much for spending time with me and watching my videos. Your support means the world. Thank you so much, and I'll be back with you really soon. Bye for now.